awesome to look around and see so many great friends and so much family here. I was just telling someone the love that I can feel here is tremendous, and it's so powerful and palatable. I could really feel it. And so thank you all for being here. It's awesome looking around and seeing all the faces. It really is a nice feeling for me right now. I'm going to begin by giving some thank yous. First, I want to, of course, thank Katie for everything that she's done for me and for this baby, Yaakov Eliyahu. She watching the pregnancy, the labor, after labor is not. I realize it's not something that I'd be able to do. And I'm not just talking about physically, but the physical strain on Katie and the emotional strain. Everything about it is so heavy, and I can't be more appreciative for what she's done and what she continues to do for this new child and for her old child, she really does everything with such elegance and grace, and I'm just tremendously excited to begin this new chapter of our lives of being parents with Katie on this journey. She's feeding now, and I just want to thank her for everything that she does. I want to thank our parents, Katie's parents first. I want to thank them for raising Katie to be such a wonderful woman. And that you're here, your support is there for us at 24 hours a day, any day of the week. And you're really incredible, and we're so grateful to have you. And I'm so grateful. When it comes to in-laws, you hear a lot of jokes, but I certainly can say that I won the lottery when it comes to in-laws. So thank you very much. My mother, Zichrona Levracha, and dad, there's not enough words I can express to give thanks to you. You are the greatest parents that a person could possibly dream of having. And Katie gave me this line. She said, I should say, being a father feels natural to me. And I can attribute that to the hands-on training that you showed me my entire life. You raised me to be able to fly on my own, and there is simply not a possible way that I can express my gratitude to you. I think the best thing that I can do, maybe the only thing that I can do to show you how grateful I am, is to raise my children, the son, Yaakov Eliyahu, to be in the way that you raised me, and to allow him to go and fly on his own. And I think that's the way I can say thank you to you. I want to thank my grandparents. We're so lucky to be able to celebrate the Simcha with my grandparents, Saba and Savta, Grandma and Grandpa Zisholtz, and Grandma Natalie. Sorry, I don't see any of you right now, but we deeply miss Katie's grandparents, Grandpa Kerry, Grandma Gildy, and Grandpa Itzi, and we are certainly thinking about them today and always. I want to thank Rabbi Schwartz, Rabbi Vozi for giving us this space and for always being here for us as well. This is where I come to daven, and I want to thank all the Rebbeim and all of our guests who've come here from near and far to celebrate with us. I want to specifically thank the Upper West Side community who's taken Katie and I into their homes, and they treat us like family. At the Shalom Zachar, Katie's father told Rebbe and Cass that Katie hosted Shabbos meals the week before she delivered our baby, and that Rebbe and Cass was to blame for Katie's tremendous desire to give. Katie's father said it so perfectly. Katie and I have learned so much from the families who host us here on the Upper West Side. You have helped us shape our homes. Last, but certainly not least, although that's probably not the appropriate thing to say for who I'm about to thank, I want to publicly thank Hashem for giving us the most precious gift. Having watched firsthand the process of pregnancy, of labor and delivery, it's hard not to see the hand of God. We feel so blessed and so lucky. Before I explain the name and how we chose it, I'd like to take a moment to share a few thoughts about my mother, Zichrona Livracha. It's still very hard to believe that Mom is not here with us. I told her how much I wanted her to see me become a daddy and have her coddle our baby. People always say our loved ones that are no longer with us are in fact with us, watching over us. I believe this is true, but I cannot really relate or understand it. What I do know is that my mother has been with me throughout this past year, and particularly this past week. I used to sing a song to my mom that made her very emotional. When my sister had her first baby, it went like this. Now your daughter is a mother, she does the things you used to do. Not only did you build your own home, but mommy, you build my home too. It would get her very emotional, and that's the answer for me. That's how my mom is here with me. I see her in me. She taught me how to be a parent. I find myself singing the same songs that she most definitely sang to me as an infant, making up random words and putting them into a lullaby. So I need to thank my mother for having raised me in the way that she did, along with my father. As now, God willing, I will do the things she used to do, and therefore, she not only raised her own children, but she will be there every step of the way as Katie and I build our home together. For those of you who shared in our wedding celebration, you probably witnessed my intense emotions as my parents walked me to the chuppah. As I stood under the chuppah with tears in my eyes, overwhelmed with so much emotion, the doors opened for Katie's parents to walk her down the aisle. My mom looked at me and said, "Enough, no more crying. Now you smile. Your wife is coming to you. This is a time of happiness." And she wiped the tears from my cheek. My mom taught me an important lesson that day, one that I'll take with me today and forever. Every joyous occasion will be tinted with some sadness, as I yearn desperately for her to be here. But just like she taught me under the chuppah, there's a time to cry, and there's a time when it's enough, and you'll smile, and you'll be happy. No, you won't be happy. You'll be elated and full of pure joy as you celebrate these special moments. I'm going to share a few words now about our baby's name, Yaakov Eliyahu. Yaakov. We named our baby boy Yaakov Eliyahu after two people. The first is Grandpa Kerry, whose Hebrew name was Yaakov Couple. Grandpa passed away just a few months ago, and he is sorely missed. Although I only had the privilege of knowing Grandpa for about 2 years, he wasted no time getting to know me on a very deep and sincere level. While Katie and I were dating, Grandpa Kerry was never shy about expressing his love for his Katie, and what a special bond they shared. After we got married, Grandpa immediately expanded that love to include me. His heart was so full of love, and I felt sincerely like one of his grandchildren. Grandpa Kerry was a person who could have a deep understanding of someone shortly after they met him, or he met them rather. He saw every person as a unique individual that needed to be cared for and connected to in his or her own way. He was truly the epitome of V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. You shall love your neighbor like yourself. Grandpa was so in love with life. He had so many hobbies and interests and seemed to be an expert at everything. We miss him very much, and it is so special that we are able to name our son after him. We pray that our Yaakov Eliyahu will carry Grandpa Kerry's good name and character traits with him throughout his life. Eliyahu. We chose the name Eliyahu after my mother's very special uncle, Eli. Like Grandpa Carey, Eli loved life. He had a sweetness about him that made everyone feel comfortable. And he had a great sense of humor. He was the master of puns. He loved to do chesed and help those in need, and he was always there for his family. Uncle Eli was deeply committed to Yiddishkeit and a very learned man. He learned at Yeshiva Torah V'das and was a Talmud of Rav Pam. At all his grandsons' bar mitzvahs, Uncle Eli gave to them a sefer of Rav Pam's Dvar Torahs on the Parsha. Every Shabbos meal at Margot and Eli's house would not be complete until Eli shared an idea from Rav Pam's sefer. Although not a grandchild, I was fortunate enough to receive one of these sefers from Eli. And for many years, Saba and I have learned from this sefer every Friday before Shabbos. And I now share these Dvar Torahs at my own Shabbos table. Katie often asks me, can you share that Rav Pam? Can you share what Rav Pam has to say this week? His Torah is now very much a part of our home and our life. And we look forward, God willing, to be able to share it with our little Yaakov Eliyahu. Katie and I had a few questions about baby naming for Rabbi Prager. As we mentioned the name Yaakov Eliyahu, Rabbi Prager said, you know, there's a very strong connection in the Torah between Yaakov and Eliyahu. To which we said, no. And we waited for an answer, as is the usual protocol around here. That wasn't funny. Rabbi Prager opened up the Chumash to Parshas Bechukosai, and he pointed out a pasuk where the name Yaakov is written. But unlike the usual spelling of Yaakov, here it was spelled with an extra vav. So after the kuf was a vav and then a vet. Why was this spelling different than the usual spelling of Yaakov's name, which does not have a vav? Again, we sat and waited for the answer. Rabbi Prager pointed to Rashi, who explains that there are 5 times in the Torah where Yaakov is spelled with an extra vav, like it was here. And these 5 times are connected to the 5 times in the Torah where Eliyahu's name is spelled without a vav. So Eliyahu ends in a vav, but in these 5 distinct times in the Torah, it ends without the vav. So it looks like Eliyah, but it still is Eliyahu. Rashi explains that Yaakov made an agreement with Eliyahu, and he took 5 vavs from Eliyahu's name and added them on to his name. These vavs were to serve as collateral, as security, that for Eliyahu's promise to bring the redemption to the world through the coming of the Mashiach. And until then, Yaakov would hold on to the vavs. So then I asked Rabbi Prager, how does this apply to us? And when Eliyahu does in fact, God willing, soon in our time, bring the Mashiach, is Yaakov going to return the vavs that he has extra in his name to Eliyahu? What I'm really asking, and I was asking Rabbi Prager, is the Torah going to change? Are we going to now have a regular Yaakov and a regular Eliyahu? So I will let you consider that question. I will not go into what Rabbi Prager answered. But it later occurred to me how this does apply to Katie and I on the birth of our Bachor, Yaakov Eliyahu. Our Yaakov Eliyahu's name is spelled with the regular spelling of Yaakov and the regular spelling of Eliyahu. The 2 names are united, and Yaakov has given back the vavs that he took from Eliyahu as security. Our Yaakov Eliyahu is our personal redemption. Katie and I are on cloud 9. We cannot believe how lucky we are to be blessed with our beautiful baby boy, and we are so happy to share in the simcha with all of you here. We look forward to sharing in many more simchas in this community and all over the people of Israel. Mazel tov, and thank you again.